I'd rather be with you. Yeah.
Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to this Good Vibes with Guillaume. It's another week. It's another week for us, and I would like to start with a good note. And I know your story is a cool story, Guillaume. And let's start with my favorite question. How do you feel right now?
Honestly, I feel great. I have to say that first I'm perfectly healthy. All my family and friends are healthy, so I think that's the crucial part. And business wise, we're sort of the lucky few, because our business really improved with the crisis. So I'm incredibly grateful for that. So as of today, everything's fine. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So tell me, what do you do? What is prospecting?
Well, prospecting, yeah. So there's many people that spend dozens of hours per month trying to reach out to people on LinkedIn. So whether for recruitment or business purposes, and prospecting allows to automate this process, and so it saves hours of time to their people, for their people.
Right. Okay, cool. So basically, I've seen that during the crisis, during COVID-19, a lot of people have been moving to LinkedIn. They've seen like peaks in the usage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think recently LinkedIn told that the user engagement on that period increases by 55%,
Wow.
which is a lot. And yeah, obviously there's still business to be made. There's still a need for people to do business, basically. And so they cannot do it physically because of COVID. So they have to find another way to reach out to people, to engage with people and stuff. And so, for example, recently I was speaking with a startup from the family, and they're producing 3D printers for craftsmen. And so in their selling process, usually they sell their 3D printers on trade show, but there's no trade show anymore now. So they had to find another way. To sell their product. So now they're turning to LinkedIn for that.
Exactly. And even for us at the family, we've been publishing a lot on LinkedIn. So basically, thanks to prospecting, I can automate all of my message if I want to gain some new clients on LinkedIn.
Yeah. An easy way to understand what it does is to compare it to drip campaign emailing, marketing drip campaign. So, but instead of using email, you will use LinkedIn profile. So there's our main feature, our key feature, the scenario feature, allows you to sequence different actions. So, for example, connection requests, and then a first message, and then a second message. And if the person has seen your message, then a message, and another condition. If the person has not seen your message, then another message. So it basically works as a drip campaign emailing, but yeah. So it's very interesting. Yeah, please go ahead.
No, sorry. So basically, you are responsible for all these persons who are invading my messagery LinkedIn.
Yeah, not well, sort of, but not exactly, because we try to educate our users to really not sound too silly. There's it might sound obvious sometimes, but I think it's worth repeating that you don't want to connect with people saying, "Hey, I'm Guillaume. I'm selling X. I think you'll really like our product." So no, that's not the way it works. If you really want to
For me, it's like a hello first name.
Hello first name, yeah.
I'm really interested by name of your company. It's amazing if we could have a quick call. Just click here, and I will show you my shit.
Yeah, that's horrible, and it never works. Basically, it never
It
works.
breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like, oh, great. They've been thinking of me. Click, boom, I want a call. Oh, no, actually, I've just been trapped
Yeah.
by automated.
No. So we try to insist on well define your persona so that the probability for them to have an interest in your product or service is quite high from the beginning. And then we encourage our users to have a whole selling process where, because if they want to sell a product or service, obviously.
And that's good because if you target me well, I will be happy as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Targeted, of course.
We encourage them to engage and to nurture their prospects. So, for example, to understand their prospects, their needs, their pains, and then provide some useful content, whether through video or articles or whatever. And then after engaging with the prospect, and once you start to know your prospects, maybe you'll be able to sell your product or service, or maybe not, because you'll have understand that in the end your prospect is not really your persona and he's not really interested. So
give me some tips. If I write a message, if I want this message, imagine it's the right person. Okay, I'm talking to the right potential client. Give me some tips on how can I convince him or her to become a real client.
Well, there's no silver bullet. There's many way to approach your prospects, and it usually depends on your persona, your industry, etc. But what we do is we always A/B test, and we split test our approaches. And so we might, for example, use a first approach with a touch of humor, with a joke or something related, for example, with COVID, but in a good way. Or we'll try to understand really
the context of
the context in which they're in, so that you show some interest. You're not, hey, I want to sell you X. It's really like
building a relationship.
Yeah, you're in a relationship, you want to engage, you want to know them better, and you want to build something together, basically.
Are you in a gray zone? Because I think that LinkedIn basically, are they aware of prospecting? Are they happy with you? Do they?
Yes, we are in a gray zone. We are in a gray zone. They don't really like us.
They don't like you.
They don't really like us. But so there's, just to set up a bit of the context, there's already plenty of other tools that do pretty much what we do. But we have placed an emphasis on replicating the human behavior and trying to stay within LinkedIn guidelines. So we don't allow you to send like thousands of connection requests in a given day, thousands of messages. We place daily limits. Because we don't want your account to be restricted by LinkedIn.
It makes me think of Mixmax. Emails.
Okay, I don't know Mixmax.
Okay.
So we're in a gray zone, but we try to stay within LinkedIn guidelines. But yeah, we're definitely in a gray zone.
All right, but you are in this zone where actually you said many other tools allow anyone to do what you do, but you do it in a much more user-friendly way, and it's not targeting a geek or growth
or hackers. Yeah, that's our niche. That's another differentiation aspect that we have, is that we have created. So there's already plenty of other products. I think, for example, Phantom Buster is a great product. You can do really loads of automation with Phantom Buster, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. So it's a great product. But the thing is, you need to be a bit technical, or if you're not, you need to invest quite a lot of time to understand how it works, and it's not really user friendly. And so what we try to do is to have a platform that is really usable, really user friendly, and that is usable for non-technical, very non-technical profile.
And that's an interesting thing. So let's go back a little bit to your story.
Yeah.
So you graduated from a business school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here in Montpellier, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 26 years old. Yeah. So my story is a bit of a textbook story, because we've basically made all the mistakes that were possible to make when you want to be an entrepreneur, when you want to start your company. So I always wanted to build my own company, and when I was a student, I thought that the best way to become an entrepreneur was to work in the consulting industry, because I will be able to see loads of different cases, loads of different companies. And then after maybe 10 years of experience, I'll be able to start my own company. But it turns out that it's not the way it works. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, the only thing to do is just to be an entrepreneur and to start your company. So that's how it works. So last year I joined. So I joined Wapi, which is because prospecting is a product of Wapi, which is the main company, sort of. And so I joined my cousin Toinon, who is the CEO of Wapi and CEO of Prospecting. And at the time, we were working on an e-concierge app for camps and hotels. And it was really funny because we really made all the mistake you could make when you launch your startup, because we spent like 2 years developing a product without talking to anyone. We always wanted to add new feature, and we thought that we would raise money very easily, as we had no traction at all. So it all started like that. And so it was back in summer 2019. And then we also, as we were a technical team, I'm not technical, but the rest of the team is quite technical. So we developed an internal tool to automate the outreach on LinkedIn in order to prospect for our previous product, the e-concierge app. And so it was not even a side project. It was just an internal tool. And we told about this tool to our friends and in the entrepreneurial area that we were in. And it turns out that loads of people told us, oh, it's great. It's wonderful. Like, do you sell it? How can I have it? And it was not designed to be sold. So we had no way to provide them with the tool, basically. But then we thought, okay, we didn't even market the product, and there's already like quite a lot of people that are telling they're interested. So we said, okay, let's go over from scratch from the beginning and start all over again. This time to design the product to be sold. And so that's how Prospecting was born. And so during 2 to 3 months, we had the two products at the same time, but it was really challenging because we were a team of 4 people. So it's hard enough to start one product. 2 products is even harder.
So the first product was something that was in the hotel industry, camping style. Okay. And you had no client, but it was your idea, and you were in love with your idea. That's and you've been working hard on it. Yeah. And the other product was just an internal tool. It's the same story as Flickr and Slack. Slack and Flickr were born as features to create a big game. And finally, they realized that the internal tools to create a video game, were more interesting than the game itself. Anyway, and you get the traction, so you can validate the traction, you can validate that there are some potential clients. The product is not even ready, it's just working for you internally, but it's not yet on the market, and that's the best lesson learned. Actually, it's like I need to validate first that there is a track, that there are some customers ready to pay for my thing.
And we learned a lot about through this adventure, because so now we see ourselves as like a company that what we like to do is we like to launch B2B SaaS. We think that the process of launching B2B SaaS is something that can be optimized and replicated. And ultimately, what we want to do is to be able to scale our capacity to launch new products, especially in the more tech industry.
Yeah, what you've understood is that you are good, you are an excellent team at looking at the tools people need that only geeks and growth hackers are actually using in their way, and it's a little bit hard to for anyone to use these tools, but anyone are needing actually this tool. So you add a user-friendly layer, and you make it much more accessible.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Everyone needs this tool, and I think that we will see even more people needed those tools because of the COVID. Basically, now, like before, it was only tools for startups that like to automate a lot of things that are always up to date and very agile, etc. And I think now big corporations will be able to look at what startups do. And yeah, I'm quite confident that.
And I mean, who are your clients today? Who is using prospecting?
Yeah, it's quite difficult to answer because we really have a very, very, very broad persona. We have like doctors. We have obviously we have like our main personas are startup founders, our business developers, sales team. But we have students, we have content, we have doctors, we have speakers, we have basically everyone who is using LinkedIn and who tries to promote his or her profile and trying to reach out to people. So really, our persona is huge. It's huge.
So what's your next idea?
And so our next idea is it's called Podawa, and it's actually we are actually launching the beta test this week right now. And so it's a Chrome extension, like prospecting is a Chrome extension, and it allows you to program and schedule your LinkedIn posts in advance and engage and auto engage, like promote your publication basically. So you will join what we call pods, which are a group of people that gather in order to promote the post, a LinkedIn post of other people by linking and by liking, and commenting on it. And Podawa automates the process of liking and commenting.
Right. So let's say I don't have to check. I commit to support, to share anything that my colleague will promote and share on LinkedIn. This is the thing?
Yeah, it's not sharing. We don't have this feature because we think it's quite it's a bit too much, to just allow to share anything. You don't really know what you're sharing, so it's a bit too much. So we didn't implement this feature, but it's for commenting and liking. That's it. Yeah. So basically, it allows to make your post more visible. So instead of having, I don't know, maybe 500 views on your post, you'll have dozens of thousands of views. So if you're promoting anything, your service, a product, or even yourself, it's quite useful.
To be honest, it's something we do among our community à la mano. It's true that I always want to make sure that the content is relevant. the content is smart,
Mhm.
before I commit to like, because a like means something for me.
Yeah, of course. So there's also it's not yet there, but there will be a feature that replicate the manual pod. So it will work the same, but then you will have to validate. Okay, I'm okay to like this post. I'm okay to comment this post with this
And
particular
if you do
comment.
that, I like it, because if it's all in one place,
Yeah.
then I can. I'm thinking of that for the founders of the family, all the startups that I love, and also for the new community of girls on Gold Up, because they have a lot of products that they release, and I want to be able to do all in one place, and that's cool.
Yeah, so you have all these different options. You can auto accept people in your pod, but you can also create a private pod where you will share a key. And then, for example, at the family, you will create the family pod, and then you'll invite all family members through the key. So the pod, the group basically won't be visible to other members. And yeah.
Guillaume, how is it to work? I mean, to be a co-founder with a family member. I mean, it's your cousin who is the CEO, right? No? And
Yes.
how does it work?
It's fantastic. Really, it's fantastic because it's not only my cousin. We have a very deep relationship. We sort of grew up together, and we share a lot of values. We sort of think the same, but not at the same time. It's quite hard to explain, but there's a deep connection between us. And it's really great because first it's great to be able to share this whole adventure with him. And yeah, it might sound a bit cheesy, but it's the truth. It's really great. And also it's easy to take the decision because most of the time we're really aligned because we grew up together from the same family and we have the same values.
Toinon started the company. If he had the idea at the beginning, and then he told you, "Join me, watch this content." And he watched
exactly.
Video from Coup d'État,
Yeah.
the online training the family releases in French. What did it bring you?
Yeah. So when he told me, listen, I need somebody. I need to I want you to be part of the adventure. I said, yeah. I was like, that was what I was waiting for basically my whole life. So I just said yes, straight. And then he told me, so I was really motivated, to at the time I was living in Paris and the company is in Montpellier. So I had to move out and stuff. So I had to prepare a bit, and I was really excited and really motivated. And I was asking myself, okay, what can I do to help, etc. And he told me, okay, what you can do during this small transition period is to check those videos. So there were videos from Coup d'État with Oussama Amar, and so I basically watch dozens, if not hundreds of hours of his content. I'm a huge fan, I have to say. It's funny. I actually seen so many of his videos that I was able to tell where the storytelling starts and when the truth ends because I was able to spot inconsistencies in his saying.
Did you tell him?
No, I never told him.
I want to tell him. Like it.
But yeah, I think it's great content if you don't know where to start, and because he's really dividing. He says, okay, you should do X, and sometimes he's wrong, sometimes he's right. But the thing, I think, one of the key takeaway from all that is that you need to take decision fast. You don't need
decisions.
Yeah, you really need to take decision fast. And if you fail, well, you will fail fast. So you will learn fast, and ultimately that's what you want. So
cool. Which startup among the family has been inspiring you?
I don't know loads of startup at the family, but I'm a huge fan of Comet, and Charles, the CEO, I think he's quite inspiring. He's also quite young, and he grew the company well so far, and they're also in the SaaS industry, so we sort of, we can relate to them.
Yeah, sorry.
So we're looking a bit of what.
Among the community of the family, don't you have some clients already?
Yeah, we do. We do have clients among the family members. Yeah.
Okay, cool. For prospecting, right?
Yeah, for prospecting. Podawa is yet to come live. So.
So the rest of the story for you is that you want to create other SaaS like prospecting, and you want like a startup studio basically. Huh?
It's similar to a startup studio, but not exactly, because in our case, what we want to do is because really what we think we're good at and what we like to do is really to launch products from the beginning very, very rapidly and iterate on that process and be better every time we launch a new product. And what we want to do is launch the product and make it bring some money and have a quite a decent user base before delegating the management of the product and hiring a team that will just drive the growth of the product. So in a startup studio, from my understanding, it's more an idea, but you don't really have clients or users yet. In our case, when we pass on the product, we already have some customers and some users.
You have validated the product market fit.
Yeah.
What I like in this is that you respect your creative sides. You respect who you are. You know that you love to test, to create, and to launch, and you know that you are not the best at scaling. And that's cool to be able to recognize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't know if we're good at scaling or if we're not, because prospecting is quite young yet. We started, so we launched the product in September 2019, and it grew quite fast. We have a 70% growth rate month on month from September, and we actually grew 70% even on April. So it's a really steady 70%. So the coming months will tell if we're able to really scale or not. For now, it's a bit early to say. But what is sure is that we really, really, really have fun launching new products and improving on the process every time. For example, this time so when we started prospecting, we tried to have some beta testers registered before the product was launched. The story is that we had 9 beta testers when we launched prospecting, and this time we replicated the process with Podawa. And we now have 2,000 people that are registered to become a beta testers. And now we have a product and it's about to be released on the Chrome store. But we gathered those people only on the basis of a landing page, basically a premise that we will be able to deliver that in the future with a roadmap, etc. So we already on that part we improved a lot. So it's cool.
All right, cool. What is your daily routine to keep your vibes up?
Oh, it's funny you ask that. I'm a bit of a cliche, we live at least my cousin and I live a very healthy lifestyle, and I like to go to bed early. I like to wake up early, and I meditate 30 minutes every morning. I also spend some time stretching. I work out every other day. So I try to keep my body healthy and my mind healthy as well.
That's so cool. It's not cliche. I mean, it's what we all want to be able to have as a daily routine. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite cool.
Do you use Headspace or any kind of app?
I use another app called Waking Up from Sam Harris. I'm a huge fan of this guy. So I never used Calm or any other app, those apps. So I don't know, but I'm sure they're great.
Is it new or you've always been like that?
No, I always, well, not always, obviously, but it's quite it's been quite some time now that I, for example, meditate since for 5 years now. I've always been quite healthy, practicing sports, different sports, and paying attention to my mind and my body because, yeah, I feel it's a way to be always 100%.
And to be happy.
And to be happy, exactly.
In the present moment. So cool. What is my last question? Because I see you all on the chat, but you are not asking any questions, my friends. It's the moment. If you want some tips on how to use prospecting, how to launch your own startup or whatever, or how is Montpellier? How is it in Montpellier right now? You can.
It's bad. It's raining all day long for like 4 days. Yeah, I went to Montpellier actually for the south of France weather, but I guess I've been lied because it's just awful right now.
You grew up in Lyon, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Lyon. Yeah.
Are any of your parents entrepreneurs as well, or not at all?
No, not at all. Well, no, not really. My father is a musician. In a way, it's in a way it can be considered entrepreneurship, but no, not really. No.
Okay, cool. All right. And your mom, what does she do?
She basically works in the pharmaceutical industry.
Okay. All right. What my last questions for you to end these good vibes? It was really cool to talk with you, Guillaume.
Really cool.
Yeah, really cool. To everybody who's here, right after talking with Guillaume, you will be able to go to the chat roulette, the networking moment. So you will randomly meet every 5 minutes someone new. And that's a good way to create human connections or making business, whatever. And it's really cool. I really encourage you to test it. What's your music? Like the music you listen every morning?
I'm a fan of house and techno, and I really like Paul Kalkbrenner. So basically any of his song would make me happy. Paul, like Paul, and Kalkbrenner. It's called it's spelled Kalkbrenner.
All right, so Paul Kalkbrenner.
It's a German guy.
Oh my God! Let's see. Let's see. All right.
All right.
No drug. Don't do drugs, my friend. All right, cool. Nice. And you listen to this in the morning?
Yeah, in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, every time.
So cool. All right, everybody, you can switch to the networking, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, Guillaume.
Thanks.
I'll see you tomorrow with Greg. We're going to talk about financial advisory for ambitious entrepreneurs. And on Wednesday, I'm with Merci Jack. On Thursday, I'm with Trust. And on Friday, I'm with Emma, the application for budgets. It was a pleasure to see you.
It was great. Thanks, Alice. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And Guillaume, test the networking.
Okay, I'll go.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.